Who knew that something so dangerous would come in handy? Alright, the Zoras are safe now, so let's go. The ice melted and restored the water flow to normal. Can we finally meet the spirits of Lake Hylia? Wait. Please, you must allow me to thank you for revitalizing both my people and this spring, which is the water source for all the lands of Hyrule. In life, I was the elder of this Zora village and the queen of my people. I was called Rutala. Not to be rude, but we didn't exactly do it for you guys. The Dark Ones. They raided this village and as a message to my people, executed me before them. Young man, you who take the form of a proud beast, I have something to ask of you. When the Dark Ones descended upon our village, I sent my young one, Rallis, to Hyrule Castle to inform Princess Zelda of our fate. But I fear danger followed him from this doomed place. I feel it. His presence goes fainter over time. But my time in this world has passed, and though I'd give it gladly, I no longer have a life to risk in his rescue. Please, would you save my dearest Prince Rallis? If you do this thing, I will bestow upon you the protection of water. This power will grant you the ability to swim and respire in very deep water, as if you were a Zora. Please, save my son. So if we help her, she'll grant you the power to swim in deep water like a Zora, huh? So, what do you say, hero? Oh, but now when I think about it, I don't suppose you should meet the Prince as a wolf, huh? It's probably a bad idea, so... No hurry for you to return to the world of light then, huh? Hello, ladies and gentlemen! Long intro cutscene, but hey! Welcome back to The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess with me, the Doctor, and that there would be one of the single fucking darkest moments in the game that you don't really realise it. The shadow creatures, like the kind of those Twilight assassins we've been seeing throughout the name of the game, like the Twilight beasts, they murdered her just to prove a point. That's brutal. That's some of the nastiest stuff other than the fucking Shadow Temple and Ocarina of Time that's ever in a Zelda game. But everyone just kind of glossed over even by the game itself. It's extraordinary. Anyway, it's raining quite hard, and it looks like the shock of the impact not only raised the water level, but also sped up the flow too. This water should flow all the way down to the lake. Why don't you let it take you there? And indeed, hey! We can basically just ride the water flow all the way down the waterfall through Zora's domain, which is now entirely unfrozen thanks to our intervention, and down we go. Oh dear. Ugh, aren't you awake yet? Look, we got washed all the way down to Lake Hylia, just as I predicted. And it looks like we're right in front of the Spirit Spring too, to boot. Talk about lucky. Well, let's go. Snap out of it and get to the Spirit. I am the last of the spirits, consumed by Twilight. Hero, chosen one of the gods, you have done well to make it this far. Gather my scattered tears of light that was stolen by Shadow. Gather them in this. Yay! Vessel of Light! We've never used this mechanic before. Blech. Well, at least we're familiar with it by now. I am sure you know by now. I am self-aware and am breaking the fourth wall. The forms that these dark insects take when they steal our light. In the shadow realm of Twilight, the insects are invisible like the humans of this world. Collect my light, lift the final cloud of twilight that threatens to cover all of Hyrule. Return the slab! Oh, see who gets that reference. Either that, or if you don't get that reference, equally there is Go to Krazoa Palace. Both of which are my kind of inspiration for the Spirit's voice on this. And in fairness, I always thought the Krazoa one was always a bit of a reference to... I'd like to think it was a reference to King Ramesses. Probably wasn't, but hey, if you don't get either of those references, you're going to be extremely confused then. Anyway, first Shadow Insect, down the Swanee straight away. Let's grab ourselves a cheeky Tear of Light. Thank you very much. And you can see on this kind of like current map, there's 4 of them. And oh, bollocks, I forgot about this section entirely. Oh god, it's this one. I say oh god, it's this one, because it drops the usual 1, 2, 3. Shouldn't be anything difficult, but it drops them pretty much equidistant from each other. There's the 2 over, 1 to the left, 1 to the right, and 1 in the centre. And picking, usually what you do is you kill the loner, and then the other 2 are next to each other, and you kill both of them in one kind of like dark energy field. But that's much harder to do with these ones, and this is the only one I've ever really had much trouble of kind of getting them all in one with. Let's try that, that should be fine. Yeah, okay, no problem there really. Sometimes it can just be a bit annoying because it's difficult to single out which one you go for and get the other 2 like close together. You do have to do a bit of like actively going out of your way to lure them together. But yeah, we've got a warp point there as well, so that's nice. We can go between here and Zora's domain relatively easily. Let's hop over here. This section's quite annoying because if you fall off, it's a fairly long swim back, but I seem to have managed it all right, which is impressive because I fucked that up a lot during practicing. And usually the chances are, the way it seems to go with me is that I'll do something absolutely fine during practice. Ooh, a heart. I do things fine during practicing, and then the moment I turn my kind of camera on, I go to shit, because, hey, it's the LPR's curse. Wow, actually, there's 2 LPR's curses, I suppose. Well, the LPR's curse is being shit the moment the camera goes on. The other thing that happened, and to anyone who's not recorded a Let's Play, like, this will never make any sense, but I assure you, it's a real thing, absolutely. Me and the boy, we call it LPR's amnesia, which is pretty much the moment you turn the camera off, you will have no idea what you did. You'll know what you did, like, gameplay-wise, but what you talked about will be a complete mystery, to the point where, a lot of the time, it's more in the multiplayer stuff than in the single-player stuff, but I will sit down and come back to something editing maybe 2 days, even, after I've recorded it, and I'll be listening to stuff that I am saying, like, I have absolutely zero memory of saying that. It's even worse when it's been, like, in the order of months. Hey, you tried to talk to me, bitch. But yeah, just sometimes you absolutely cannot remember what you talked about, because I think you just kind of go into autopilot, let's be hilarious and improvise mode, as if we're never hilarious, but let's try and be hilarious. You kind of go into that mode, and I guess that kind of just puts you into a mindset where you're not really kind of like, I guess you're on transmit rather than be on record, if we could just to think about it that way. But anyway, as you can see from the map, got a fairly long swim ahead of us. Let's roll. But yes, this is like what I was saying last episode, where this is a particularly long section of Twilight, in that we spent the entirety of last episode in the Twilight Zone, and this episode will probably as well, my intention is to get all of these Tears of Light this episode, and that's kind of it, like, we'll end on the final Tear of Light. So, anyway, that's the plan for this episode. Midna's trying to talk to us. Hey, if you build that grass there, that monster bird that was just here should come back. And even if you can't play it yourself, maybe you can sit there and howl the same song. I did tell you about this back in episode 3, maybe? That you can do this kind of like howling. And indeed, if we do it here, rather than getting the hawk, we actually get a slightly creepier visitor. So, now we get to do this minigame again that we did last episode, but with 2 twists this time. Number 1, there is water at the bottom, which means you've got a lot less space to manoeuvre. Secondly, if you look at the map, you'll see there are shadow insects, 4 of them here. You can bring your senses up normally when you're in this mode, and all you have to do is see the shadow insect, L-target it, and dash into it. I don't even think you have to L-target it, but I feel like, I may be completely wrong here, but I feel like L-targeting it makes it easier to dash into. If you just dash into them, they will explode and you will instantly get the Tear of Light. Like, you don't have to collect the Tear of Light at all, it's just kind of like there. And so that's 2 of them down already. All of the kind of bits of geology that collapsed when we were here last time are still collapsed this time. So there's at least none of that to focus on. But there is, as I say, you've got a lot less vertical space to maneuver because of the fact that... Oh, bollocks. So, if you overshoot it, they tend to kind of like hover and keep pace with you. I don't believe they actually overtake... Actually, you can really overtake them. So you're pretty much alright. This fucker's actually overtaking us. Hup! Yep. Okay, we missed him slightly there. Let's just... There we go. Not getting the shadow insects is pretty difficult here. Equally, if you get hit for any reason and fall off and have to redo this section, the shadow insects you've got count. Like, the 4 we got, we've now got them, so you don't have to, like, re-get them each time or anything like that. If you get hit and fall off, you will, you'll respawn on the bird right back at the beginning of this run again, but you, actually can take the sensors off, but you absolutely will not have to gather any of the shadow insects that you've already got again, so it's pretty straightforward, and as you can see, not really much of a problem for me, but that's because I'm a massive boss. That's not true, I'm terrible at video games, but I'm just oddly lucky, especially today when the camera's been on, so that's a nice... pleasant surprise, I suppose. So, now we're up here. Let's talk to this woman. Oh, what's that? A bug? Oh, nasty. Why's it so big? Golly, I'm sick of roughing it in the boonies. Other than that line about roughing it in the boonies, I'm pretty sure that's exactly the same as what Koro said when we were first in the Twilight Zone in Farron Woods. He was like, a bug? Why is it so big? And he's actually got a similar hairstyle to her. Maybe they're related! I'd never thought about that. Let me know what you think in the comments. Either way, there we go, got there eventually. If we come up here, we actually will have seen this last episode, but we couldn't get to it because there wasn't enough water to get over that bridge near there. But... that's not what I was wanting to show you, but apparently that's what the game was wanting to show you. But hey, let's listen to Howling Stone. See, I've mentioned this before, that some of the Howling tunes are recognisable ones. See if you know this one. Da, 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 da. If you've not got it yet, cast your mind back to Ocarina of Time, towards the end of Ocarina of Time. Indeed, that's probably my favourite of all of the warping songs in Ocarina of Time. That's the final warping song you learn, is the Requiem of Spirit. Let teachings of old pass to you. Take sword in hand and find me. So, it's actually within Lanayru province that the thing goes. But we need to take sword in hand and find him, so we can't do it when we're still a beast, like we currently are. So, we were shown, before we did the whole howling thing, these two spirits, so let's go over and take a look-see at them. Do you think Prince Rallis passed through here? He must have. This is the only waterway that connects to Hyrule Castle. Come, let's follow this path in search of him. So, hint, the way with the torches is the way to go! The water wasn't quite as fast as I expected there. So we actually wash up here in Hyrule Field, this kind of northern part of Hyrule Field, but there are absolutely no insects around for a mile. The nearest insects are in Hyrule Castle Town, which is a fair walk, so I will see you over there. So, just outside the kind of like the gates of the town, firstly, if you look up to the right there, you will see the wolf. That's where he is, the current one that we just summoned with the Howling Stone, but obviously we can't get up to him. And even if we did, I think there are a couple of occasions where you can get to him as a wolf and he'll be like, the fuck are you doing? Take sword in hand and find me. Anyway, if we try and enter the town... So this time we get another couple of shadow messengers. I really need to standardize. Well, see, this is the thing. Fucking game itself. Oh, bollocks. Actually, we only killed one there, so that's fine. Because I hit the wall there and actually technically got stopped. But hey. Yeah, game itself can't standardize on what these things are called. I've heard shadow beasts, shadow assassins, and shadow messengers, and equally twilight beasts, twilight assassins, and twilight messengers. And the game has never, well, the game never actually names them, so you just got to go with whatever happens to be in the various parts of promotional material. So I tend to go for Twilight Assassins or Shadow Assassins, but Beast Messengers work equally well. So, as you can see on the map, I've come the wrong way, as you can see on the map, there is one shadow insect here, which is outside the bar we were at earlier. So, I say earlier, I mean last episode. So, it's actually hiding in these crates somewhere. If we smash them up, smashy! There we go, he's out. And let's... Oh, bloody hell, he got me. There we go. Got him eventually. Now, let's actually at this point bring up the map. Because, as you can see, well, there's a wolf. The only remaining shadow insects are all up at Zora's domain. So we're actually going to warp up there. I love that we literally spawn above the water. So all the Zoras are happy again. Well, not exactly happy. Like that one over there, I'm pretty sure is actually dying. If not dead. Oh, we got pushed off him. Let's see. What's he saying? Yeah, he's dying or dead. Anyway, if we come over here, I don't know why I'm laughing. Nervous response, I suppose. Yeah, if you tackle that wall, a shadow insect comes off it, and then we can take this out the way we take any of them out. And as you can see, there are 4 more. Let's grab that and head into Zora's domain proper. So, first things first, let's drop down the waterfall. This has a very Knocky Bay feel, this whole area. You'll see what I mean as we kind of explore around it. That might just be me, because as you may have noticed, if you're any long-time watcher of the channel, I fucking love Super Mario Sunshine. It's my favourite game. But this area as a whole definitely does have a Knocky Bay feel. Perhaps not when it's shrouded so much in Twilight, but, well, over the coming minutes, hopefully you will come to think as I do. And if you feel as I feel, shout V for Vendetta. I don't know where that came from in my mind, but hey, that happens a lot of the time. As a Let's Play, you kind of just gotta learn to roll with those feelings and just kind of say whatever comes into your gob, which usually ends up pretty badly for me, but hey, I'll go for it. I'm actually gonna, hold on a sec, just turning the game volume down in my ear. Oh, cunt! Oh, I jumped off the thing. Yeah, no, it's actually, so like I have a headset with a mixer like set up so I can hear myself through my microphone, so I can actually hear when I'm talking, and then I have like the game audio coming through it. But for some reason, and I'll turn it down for you guys as well, it's an weird issue with this game of that waterfall is fucking deafeningly loud compared to every other sound effect in the bloody game, and I don't understand why or how that happened. But anyway, you'll notice this is kind of like oddly similar to the way we... Is that not a mentioned ripping point up here? Did I imagine that? Okay. These last two are always a bit strange to get. But yes, this is kind of reminiscent of what we did to come up to get here when it was all frozen over. But now you're starting to see what I mean about why this reminds me of Knocky Bay. This kind of like shit coming out the walls, the angle at which that bloody water's coming out the wall, and the way we're jumping over these thin platforms. It's got a really... No, I'm just admitting a jump. It's got a really Knocky Bay feel to it. Like, we're one step ahead. If you had to tackle the wall and hit this weird sigil on the wall that makes stuff come out of it, then that would be literally the final straw in the whole thing. Right, there's a choice of way here, and we're actually going to go... Nope, not that way. We're going to go that way. There we go. And if we come around here, then we get one of the shadow insects just up ahead here. Wallop! There we go. And there's only one more to get now. Let's grab the tier. And I think from here we can get back up to where we just were. There is usually a way up here, but I believe this doesn't connect at the moment. Let's find out. Oh, motherfucking boulder. Yeah, we need bombs to get through that. And we have bombs, we just don't have access to them because we are in Therian form, to use the Latin term. Oh, no, we actually can't get up there, so we're going to have to jump from the bottom. That's going to be fun for me. So yeah, kind of slightly weird thing with this bit is that you access both sides from the right-hand side. Like, even this one that we're getting to at the moment, I kind of went the wrong way there. This one we're getting to at the moment that's on the left-hand side, you still actually get to from the right-hand side. We're first going to come down here and get 20 rupees. That's pretty nice. It doesn't even say those little things anymore. Ugh, that was the best thing about Wind Waker. Actually, no, there are a lot of things that were the best thing about Wind Waker. But one of them was like, you got 10 rupees. That's not too shabby. Like, those little additions on. Wind Waker had a lot more soul than this game. Not that this game's, like, soulless. It's just that, like, Wind Waker had love and feeling in a way that this game has not so much got. Anyway, we're going to mid and jump back this way now, and this is kind of like where we want to be going, because now we're right up at the top, and this makes it much easier to get down to the other side, I believe. Actually, we didn't really need to do that, but hey, you know me. I love some good overkill. Shout out to Colin Hay. Ha! Let's see who gets that reference. I'm old. Anyway. Now, again, as I say, we didn't really need to come all the way up here. I was kind of going on autopilot and forgot that what we're supposed to be doing is because... Okay. So you know when I said to get up to the one on the right, on the left, relative to the map, you need to go up to the right relative to the map? Turns out, that was a lie. It's just right here. I was thinking of... I was going to say... Actually, I was thinking of the other bit. No, wasn't even thinking of another bit. I'm just an idiot, apparently. Anyway, let's kill this bugger. Let's kill this bugger. My god, man. Kill the bugger! Right, get here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come on. Come to Wolfie. Come to the circle of death. The ring o' doom. Where's he gone? He's here. And get shit on! There we go. And with that, bam. Let's get the final tier of light. Except it's not the final tier of light. There's one more. Let's talk to Mid now. Hey, what's going on? There should be one more. Where could the last tier be? Wait, what? There it is! What's going on? This is weird. Too spooky! Yeah, so what we need to do now is warp back to Lake Hylia. Well, that doesn't look at all sinister. I feel like we should investigate that. That sounds like a very good idea. Let's swim over there. So as you can see, the closer we get to that kind of like point, the more the weather deteriorates, which can only be confirmation that this is definitely a really good idea. And there's these kind of like floating barges that weren't really here before, so let's hop up on one of these. Dun dun dun! Yeah, that reveal doesn't really work without the sensors on. Let's try it again. Okay, that's pretty ugly looking. But it's just kind of like the shock of, oh my god, look what it is, it's invisible! It doesn't really work. But hey, so this is the final boss of the shadow insects. This is the Twilight Bloat. Is apparently its actual real official name. And basically, the boss fight proceeds as such. You wait for it to attack you, you move out of the way because it's really fucking slow, then once its electricity dies, you nom on it. And then you repeat. So, issue with this game we come across here. Combat as Wolflink is always pretty much, by necessity, boring, because you have one attack, which is like the jumping attack. And like, it's not too bad because you're not Wolflink that often, but this is why it annoyed me. One of the things they added into Twilight Princess HD is they added an entire, like, pit of 100 trials kind of thing where you're entirely Wolflink. I've not played that game, because I'm not paying 40 quid for a game I already own on 2 consoles just to get it on a 3rd. But, my point is, I don't know why you added an entire kind of, like, Wolflink bit, because Wolflink is not... What makes Wolflink interesting to play as is the world, like seeing the whole world in like the spooky realm, and like the kind of you've lost your shit and stuff like that. Having an entire dungeon as Wolflink just doesn't really appeal to me at all. But anyway, once you hit him 3 times, he collapses on his back, and then what we do is get his genitals using the dark aura thing.